Hey everyone, this is your favorite history buff. We are traveling with history. I wanted to do something fun today. Well, like any other week. Ray Kroc, the guy who made McDonald's to a fast food chain restaurant. Let's just say he wasn't the one that created McDonald's, but he's the one that created the fame of McDonald's. I want to go through his life. Anyways, why don't we begin? This is how it's going to start. I start with his childhood, which also include a little bit of his attempt to enter World War One, his first marriage, the multi-mixers, McDonald's, the second marriage, more McDonald's, third marriage, and of course the legacy. Anyways, why don't I continue on? He was born as Raymond Albert Kroc in Illinois, October 5th, 1902, Czech-American parents, Rosemary Alois Kroc. He also, as a kid, had some business instincts, took piano lessons, such as with a lemonade stand, even at a soda fountain, that ambition grew within him. He also wanted to do his part in the Great War. He had, of course, the desire to serve. He was too young, so he lied about it. He wanted to be a Red Cross ambulance driver. Of course, ultimately, he never got to go overseas. But it's the thought that counts. After the war, he worked as a real estate salesman, a jazz pianist, and, of course, salesman for Lily Tulip Cup, which will come next. His first marriage, Ethel Fleming. They were married pretty early, 1922. They were very young, early 20s, I believe. Their marriage will last until 1961. They had one child together named Marilyn. The problem with this marriage was his devotion to his work, constant moving, different areas. She did not like that. He did not devote enough time to her or the child, let alone during the Great Depression. And it didn't help that he had extramarital affairs. That'll come later on in the video with his third wife. But she has had it. She did eventually ask him for a divorce. If I recall right, he asked to divorce her, but compensated with money so he could marry another woman. Kind of sleazy, if you ask me. Anyways, let's move on. Despite him being a terrible husband, he was quite the salesman. He was very aggressive in his approach. He didn't beat around the bush. And he was very confident. For the Lily Cup, Lily Tulip, he would sell paper cups and containers to restaurants and stores and other, like just hotels across the nation. The paper cups were very popular in 1918 because of the Spanish flu. A lot of people got sick. They could be disposed of. You wouldn't have to share them. And the Prohibition era, which started in 1920, so when alcohol was illegal, but ice cream was pretty big. They were also used for that. The Prince Castle Company were one of his clients for the paper cups. They had also made multi-mixer machines, make 6 milkshakes at once. The money rolled in his imagination. I say his eyes showed money, because he saw the potential. Paid about $68,000 to have the exclusive rights to sell them and use the name. Yes, this is where we move on to the next slide. Now, in 1954, he did notice sales. His representative, William Jameson, frequently ordered mix masters from McDonald's. Kroc, curious, wanted to know why. That's when he went to California to meet the McDonald's brothers. He was very impressed of how they did their simple business. It was pretty booming. Hence the picture on the right and the burger in the background. They did also have competition from Burger King, especially when the Whopper came out. Luckily, in 1957, I believe one of his workers came with a double burger, eventually be called the Big Mac. That was coined by Secretary Esther Rose. I hope he gave her a raise for that one, because it worked out. Equalized the Whopper. Now, more. Let's talk about how McDonald's came to be. This menu, very simple, focused on the customers. An easy menu meant they had to go through the frustration. And he wanted to work as a franchising agent for some of the cut, and founded the McDonald's system and opened new restaurants across the country. I believe Harry J. Sonneborn, forget the butchery, was the first core president. He advised Kroc to purchase and lease lands to new franchises. He also helped him ultimately buy McDonald's from the McDonald's brothers. I guess he got rid of a lot of the traditions, but he did keep their hamburger making process at least. There was the University of Hamburgerology and a minor in French fries. Strict routine, with the new elements, but kept the assembly line. It made things improve in the profit aspect. But there was also the negativity. Understandably, they were criticized for the lack of nutrition and the teenage workers being treated. Money is money. Now for his second marriage. After he divorced his first wife, he married Jane Dobbins Green in 1963, and they divorced in 1968. They didn't have any children together, but I believe his fame and, of course, more affairs caused a strain on the marriage. After that divorce, she did keep her life private. Who could blame her? After all, he's a firecracker. Any more features? Ronald McDonald. 1963 was his first appearance when he was portrayed by Willard Scott, who played Bozo the Clown earlier. Not to mention, he had goofy sidekicks, the Hamburglar, the Mayor McCheese, Grimace, and the Fry Kids. Now, Kroc used this for philanthropy. The McDonald's Foundation, for instance, Ronald McDonald House Charities. That's where they come in. McDonald's also was the world's largest distributor of toys, giving over $1.5 billion. Yeah, you can say it's kind of a big deal. Final marriage. Joan Mansfield. This was the woman he cheated on his wife with. And of course, she was originally married to Roland F. Smith, who was a part of the McDonald's franchise. They married in 1961. Married until he died. She had many lovers, but she never married again. And she did do a lot of the Ray Kroc Foundation's philanthropy the rest of her life, giving away a lot of money. So there was some good that came around. And she's obviously 20 years younger than Ray Kroc. I guess love knew no numbers here. Now, we're talking about McDonald's overseas. Every state, and eventually in 1971, came to Japan. It had opened in over 3 dozen countries. The franchise was worth over $8 billion. Ray Kroc eventually became the senior chairman in 1977, which he held that title for the rest of his life. He had died of a heart failure at Scripps Memorial Hospital, January 14th, 1984. Now, to show you what kind of man he was, let me read one of his quotes here. I guess to be an entrepreneur, you have to have a larger ego, enormous pride, and ability to inspire others to follow your lead. At least he was honest about himself. That's how he did the game. Business could be brutal, you know. His legacy, the Kroc Foundation. Again, charity to the kids and all those less fortunate. He also owned the San Diego Padres baseball team for 10 years. He loved his baseball. Another quote. This one described his passion. Alright, here it is. If you work for just the money, you'll never make it. But if you love what you're doing and you always put the customer first, success will be yours. He was a man of risk. Risk didn't always pay off, but he always rolled with the punches. He was one time considered for president, but he declined. What did we learn from this? A terrible husband, but a great businessman. He is the reason McDonald's is the way it is today. The McDonald's brothers may not have liked this part, but he made the company richer, even with the corporates and everything. And a heavy powerhouse to compete with Burger King, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and many others. Now, I'm not going to argue for health, for obvious reasons. That's McDonald's for you. Put a smile on. I know you're all loving it. Thank you all for watching this. I hope I didn't disgust people or make them hungry, whichever their preference is. Like, subscribe if you learned anything. If you have any improvements that you want, let me know. Anyways, I hope you all have a great time. And let's just say bye-bye now.